I'd like you to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do we have a motion to adopt the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Davis?
Aye.
Mr. Knight?
Aye.
Mr. Hamilton?
Aye.
Mr. Cole?
Aye.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the minutes as written and waive the reading of the minutes from the regular meeting, September 6th, 2022.
Second.
Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Cole?
Aye.
Mrs. Davis?
Aye.
Mr. Knight?
Aye.
Mr. Hamilton?
Aye.
All right, we have no hearing of the public?
No hearing of the public's been submitted.
All right. So we'll move to number 7, the approval of the invoices.
I so move we pay the bills.
I'll second. Any discussion? If not, call the roll, please.
Mr. Knight?
Aye.
Mrs. Davis?
Aye.
Mr. Hamilton?
Aye.
Mr. Cole?
Aye. Okay, no school report because
No, yeah, the school report was our board update, or excuse me, was the board work session, so we do not have a school report tonight.
Thank you. Okay, we have the treasurer's report.
Okay, just 2 things this evening for approval. Item A is the monthly financial report for the month ended September 30th, 2022. Exhibit TA1 is the cash reconciliation. Our total deposit accounts totaled $1,368,797.76, and our total investments $17,653,787.06. For a total reconciled balance after outstanding items of $18,697,466.15. Page 2 of the report is a listing of all of our investments. I did want to note a lot of our investments on here because we started our investment ladder a couple of years ago when we were getting very low interest rates. Those are starting to mature, and we're starting to see some better interest rates as interest rates start to rise. So you'll notice at the bottom we do have one there on there at 3.5%. The hope is as these mature, we're going to start to see a lot more 3s and maybe even some 4s there. So our investment earnings will start to increase. But it takes time since we invested those in a ladder starting a couple of years ago for those to market out. So the investment total on those ties back to the reconciliation. And then page 3 is a comparison through September 2022 compared to last year, September of 21 on the left, and then the actual data compared to what our estimates were. Not really a whole lot of change on the revenue side. We talked about this last month. The other revenues is the biggest change. It was $200,000 less this year compared to last year. That's just a timing issue on our Canton City income tax payments. We received those in June of 21, whereas we received those in July of 21 last year. This year, they came in June of 21. So we got 2 payments in one fiscal year last year. This year, that's not showing up. Hopefully we'll get that in June this year as well. On the expenditure side, fringe benefits is the major difference there. $329,000 this year higher than last year, but that's because last year we had 2 premium holidays for health and dental insurance. This year we only had 1. And so that costs our district about $300,000 per premium holiday, or saves our district about $300,000 per premium holiday. So the ending cash in the general fund, $15,073,673. Our estimate was $15,092,054, so slightly under estimates, but nothing to be concerned of at this point. That's item A, monthly financial reports. Item B, we have 2 then and now purchase orders for approval. First one is 2300780. That's the Start Portage Area Computer Consortium for Naviance, $9,993.66. Requires board approval. Spring Valley Golf Course, $8,250, PO 230000689. Again, since it's over 3,000, requires board approval for that. So I recommend items A and B for approval.
I so move on items A and B.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? If not, call the roll, please.
Mr. Hamilton?
Aye.
Mr. Cole?
Aye.
Mrs. Davis?
Aye.
Mr. Knight?
Aye. Okay, moving on. Mr. Yeagley?
Hey, good evening, everyone, and I know we have a lot of people here, and tonight, what we're going to do is we're going to start to honor our students that are here. So first of all, thank you for being here with us. We really appreciate it. Students, once we get through this part, while you are all welcome to stay for the rest of the board meeting, and I'm sure will be very, very interesting to you, you do not have to, okay? So once we get through all this, I just want to make sure. But it is always, we always welcome you here, and we appreciate, and families, thank you for being here with us as well. I'm going to start first with Students of the Month. And this is something that we do each month here, but this month, because of September, we actually have 4 Students of the Month because we're going to honor our September and our October. So I'm going to start, and here's what's really cool. They are our student reps to the board here as well, so they're already up here with us, and we'll get that ready to go. But I'm going to start first with our September Students of the Month. And Caden, if you would please stand by, I'm going to start with you. We have Caden Dickinson. So Caden has been a member of the National Honor Society, where he's the co-president, 6-man mentoring, the student leadership team, and chess club. In sports, he's on the bowling team. In fine arts, he takes foundations of art and photography. He also, in the community, is involved in Girls on the Run and the Community Day. His parents are Brandon Dickinson, and then after graduation, he plans to attend a 4-year college program majoring in math or a science-related study. So his question, if he could sit with anyone on a park bench for an hour, who would it be? Frank Ocean? Should I know who Frank Ocean is?
He's a musical artist.
Okay.
Like R&B music.
Very cool. Awesome. Okay, sorry, it's my first time feeling old. I don't know if it's maybe my first, but it's one of those times that we have there. So I'm hoping other adults didn't know who that was either. So, kidding. What is the best thing about being a teen? I like this answer, no taxes or bills. And what is the most important part of school? And he put developing future life skills. Could you please join me giving a round of applause to Caden Dickinson? Hand this to you, buddy. Thanks. Congratulations. All right. Our other September teen of the month here is Allison James. Allison, if you could please stand up. So Allison has been involved in student leadership for 4 years, class officer for 2 years, HOSA officer for 2 years, 6-man mentoring for 2 years. She is the secretary of the National Honor Society, and she is the co-vice president of the National Technical Honor Society. In sports, she's been on the varsity girls soccer team for 4 years, and in fine arts, she has been in choir for 3 years, and the drama club and musicals for 2 years. Her community involvement includes Safety World. She helped work the Girls on the Run race, Little Cat Soccer, and she helped with the elementary turkey trot. Her parents are Anthony and Debbie James. After graduation, she plans to attend a 4-year college and pursue a degree in either the medical field or education. Her 3 questions: if she could sit on a park bench with anyone, it would be Taylor Swift. I do know who that is. I just want to be very clear. And she'd like to learn as much from her as she can, while also talking about how much she loves her music. What's the best thing about being a teen? And that is finding out who you are and what you want to get out of life. Everyone has some sort of freedom and time to think and grow while being a teen, and you learn more about yourself as you get older, which for her has been such a great thing. And then, final question here. Out of all the experiences you've had along the way, oh, sorry, I think I'm missing something here. I apologize, and this was about what has been about school, the best about school. She put, it's all the experiences you have along the way. Without these experiences at school, you don't find much that is memorable or meaningful. Some of the experiences I've had through school have been some of the best ones of my life, and I think it's very important that these people find these experiences at school. So Allison, congratulations. Can I have you walk over so I can keep waving? Can we give, yep, absolutely. Can we give Allison a round of applause? So now that we're caught up, let's move on now now to the October teams of the month. And David, if you wouldn't mind coming up here first, buddy, I'm gonna have, you don't get out of the embarrassment of standing up on stage, buddy. We gotta have you come up here. If you could come on up here, we'd appreciate it. And this, our first, is David Smith. So, David, as he makes his way up, has been involved in National Honor Society for 2 years, where he is the treasurer. The chess club, which I believe we just got started this year, am I correct? Fantastic. And also six-man mentoring. In sports, he's been a member of the bowling team for the 2019-20 school year and the 21-22 school year. In fine arts, he's been a member of Foundation of Arts and the Advanced Foundation of Arts. Community involvement, been a member of Girls on the Run, working that day, and a community day volunteer. His parents are Kimberly Smith and David Smith. After graduation, his plans are to go to college and study physics and hope to eventually study astrophysics. It's very impressive. If you could sit on a park bench for an hour with anyone, who would it be? Not surprising with your major, Neil deGrasse Tyson. What is the best thing about being a teen? And you put, we're treated similar to adults, but we don't yet have the responsibilities that come with being one. And what's the most important part of school? He answered, finding out how to tell right from wrong. Could you please join me in congratulating David Smith? Our next October teen of the month is Marissa Hanum. Marissa, could you please come on up? You can stay right there, Marissa. Although I'm going to make you come over and get a shirt in a second anyway. So Marissa, her activity, she is in National Honor Society. She's a member of Wildcat Christian Athletes for 2 years and has been a member of the Business Professionals of America for a year. Her sports, she is a captain of the soccer team where she has played all 4 years, and she has been a 3-year member of the basketball team. Her community involvement include helping with the Little Cat soccer program. She's a volunteer at Bridgepoint. She's volunteered to help with Girls on the Run race. Her parents are Sandy and Adam Hanum. After graduation, she plans to continue her education at Stark State and achieve degrees in dental assisting and dental hygiene. Her question was, what hashtag would you summarize your high school experience? She put hashtag, you win some, you lose some. What is the most important part of school? Learning time management and building relationships with the people around you. And what is the coolest thing that's ever happened at school? And she put beating Marlington in soccer for the first time her freshman year and getting to do that with her sister. Would you please join me in congratulating Marissa Hanum? You know, before I move on with that, it is probably one of my favorite parts of my job is getting to read off all of those kids and getting to present them to you. And just want to say thank you to each of you for being such positive leaders. A lot of times as adults, we like to think we're in charge, all right? But the reason why we have a good culture and why we have such good things is we have great kids. And we just appreciate all of you for your leadership and what you do, and we're honored to be able to recognize you here tonight. Want to continue on then?
Yes.
Okay.
Committee reports.
What's that?
Committee reports.
Yeah, so with committee reports, we're actually going to start first with our athletic director, Mr. Dennison. And one of the things that we would like to start doing here is when we have people accomplish things athletically or throughout, honestly, every area of the school, we want to start bringing them here, and this is why you guys are here tonight, to recognize our student athletes, recognize our students, and get an opportunity to bring them in front of you so you can see the good things that our kids are doing. So, Mr. Dennison, I'll turn it over to you to introduce our coaches.
All right, thank you. We've had a great start to the school year in our athletic programs, and we've had some superlatives this fall, and we want to recognize some of the young men and women that have done some great things for Canton South this fall. So first I'm going to start with Coach Scott Stair for our cross-country program with a young man that did some phenomenal things with breaking records.
Good evening. I'd like to thank Mr. Yeagley, first off, when he presented this. I jumped at the chance to say, hey, what a great opportunity to celebrate Logan and his accomplishments this year. I'll try to keep this short, but he's got a long list of accomplishments as only a 7th grader. You're looking at the fastest middle school kid in the county, pack champion. He won the Claymont Invitational, the Newcomers Invitational, the Jackson Invitational, Sandy Valley Invitational, and the Tussle Invitational. Just to recap, I'm a numbers guy. He has raced 1,015 kids this year and has only lost to 4. What I like about Logan, he's very coachable. He listens, which is odd at 7th grade. He's humble, and he wasn't thinking, I've been in class, so I don't think he thought I was eavesdropping today, but he's going to run at the state meet this week. And the state meet, they give out these ginormous, gummy, whatever. Okay, so these 5-pound gummy teddy bears. There's a 26-pound gummy anaconda snake. I swear, it's huge. And I heard him talk to the kids, he goes, I want to win it. He goes, I want to win it because I want to share with my team. And that was, he didn't know I heard him, but I was like, wow, that's pretty awesome. He's a humble kid. He takes, I'm the numbers guy. I look at it, I tell him what he needs to be able to do at the state level. He's the 36th fastest kid in the state. He's 12th in Division II. He's the 7th fastest 7th grader. And like I said, he's going to be running at the state meet with his teammates on this Sunday at Dublin Jerome. And he's actually going to the middle school national meet November 5th in Louisville, Kentucky. So he's a one of a kind. I'm glad he's
Next, I'd like to bring up the girls' golf team and Coach Mullet.
I'll try to make this fast, Jason. I know I got about 3 minutes. I know there's some kind of game going on tonight. Is there an Indians game somewhere in New York? So I'll try to be quick. First of all, in order to understand what they've accomplished this year, I kind of need to take you back to where the golf program was 7 years ago when it just started, and we were struggling just to get girls in here. We took anybody we could. We've come so far for a sport that is so hard. The little ball just sits on the ground and looks at you and goes, go ahead, hit me if you can. And then, trust me, that's why I have the ultimate respect for these girls, because of what they've done, where they've started, and a lot of them didn't even play 3 years ago. So the concept that they've come this far is just amazing, and they exemplify team effort. One of the moms, I believe it was Mary Ann, asked me the other day, she said, are you excited that you're going to districts? And I was pumping my fist. I'm just inside thinking, yeah, but no, Mary, yeah, it's nice. But yes, I was so excited that we were going to districts. But it was amazing just to see them and see their faces when they realized it as well. Because this sport gets lost in the concept of being an individual skill. Yes, a lot of individuals move on, but this was a true team effort. They put together a season, even exceeded my expectations. These are all their records. I know 12 wins, that's most in school history. 396 is the lowest 18-hole average for them in school history. The 186 is another lowest in school history. Their third place finish in sectionals was just amazing. And then that put them in the chance to go to the districts, which was unbelievable. But the biggest thing they learned this year too was they had a match. This is the first real time they realized what real pressure was. We had a try match at Northwest at Lions Den, and they knew if they won both matches that day, they were going to set the record for the most amount of wins in a season. So they were up against it, and I was kind of curious, because I kind of pushed them. This was the first time I really pushed them that, hey, this is something, you know, you got something on the line here. But I'm telling you, they played the best match of the year. They put up their best score. That lowest 9-hole match was 186. They came through, and like I said, they made this a team effort, and they are the epitome of what a magnificent team was. And I can't tell you, Coach Philippi and I, just so proud of them, it's unbelievable. So girls, first, and I want to thank the board, thank you, administrators, and everybody for giving us a chance to come out, community members for recognizing them. This one I'm going to call up is Haley Franks. You can go on up. Leah Kramer, Mia Zellers, Aaron Foster, and Sam Irwin. Girls, thank you very much. This was an unbelievable season. And again, thank you for the opportunity.
And finally, our last group that we're going to honor tonight just keeps winning championships year in, year out. So, Coach Trissel and Coach Brown, bring your girls up and girls tennis.
Hello. First, I'll just start by saying thank you to Mr. Yeagley and the board for inviting us out tonight. Rob Dorshuk, head coach, is not able to be here with us tonight, but he gave us a whole lot of things he would like us to say about the girls, and we're going to be reading them so we don't forget anything important. So this year, the girls tennis team continued its decades-long run of success. The tennis team competes every year in the Northeast Tennis Conference, which we call NET. It's a tennis-only league founded in the 1990s. The NET is a competitive league comprised of Canton South, Alliance, Chippewa, Kidron, Manchester, Marlington, McKinley, Orville, and Triley. Our girls, who are the youngest team in the league, made it their goal to get Canton South back to the top of the standings, and they did just that this year. The girls were undefeated in the regular season. They were tournament champs and overall league champs this year.
Rowan Laughlin was undefeated in the regular season at second singles. Abby Moore won the tournament at third singles. And Avery Sontag and Emily Thompson won the tournament at first doubles. Those four, along with Marissa Zaleski at first singles, and Katie Wilkinson and Abby Stinchcomb, each earned all-conference team honors. This season, the girls also completed their 32nd straight winning season. We had two girls, Marissa Zaleski and Emily Thompson, qualify for the district tournament, and only 3 schools in Stark or any surrounding county have sent girls to the district tournament 10 years straight: Jackson, Hoover, and Canton South. Thanks to our outstanding seniors, Avery Sontag and Madison Cantrell, and congrats to all of our girls on continuing the tradition of success for Canton South girls tennis. Go Cats!
We got Brooke Lockhart,
Delaney Hughes, Lila Cover, Rowan Laughlin, Marissa Zaleski, Avery Sontag, Chloe Green, Abby Stinchcomb, Abby Moore, and Emily Thompson.
While they're finishing up, I just want to thank our coaches and our athletes. They are great representatives of our school and give us a lot to be proud of. So with that, I'll hand it back to Mr. Yates.
Thank you. Okay. Last students we're going to recognize here. We've already done this. Our our student representatives to the Board of Education. And again, that is Allison James and Canton Dickinson. Just want to thank Mr. Cole. I know that's a committee you're on and have a hand in working with our high school administration. Really appreciate you. At this time, and I see some of you taking us up, you are welcome, absolutely welcome to stay for the rest of the board meeting, and we encourage you. However, if you would like to slide out of here right now, you're not going to hurt our feelings if you just came to recognize your child. Thank you so much for having them here with us tonight. We are greatly appreciative of the way they've represented Canton South. We're all very proud of them. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So as we're doing, sorry, Mr. Cole, I didn't give you that opportunity. So as we are doing this, just so you know, tonight Allison and Caden are just here to watch and kind of learn, and they're going to start giving their reports at the November meeting with everything. So just greatly appreciate you guys.
Can I say something real quick?
Absolutely,
So,
yes.
I don't know if you guys know the process on all of that. So the senior students are given the opportunity to apply for this position. They have to submit a resume. There is an essay with questions that they have to answer, and also a letter of recommendation from a staff member. There were 6, 7 kids that applied for it this year. All of them fine kids. It's not an easy choice to go through. I would say that these two, I would say that your answers to your questions were kind of the standout from everyone else. You were very, very well written and very, very mature in your answers, and that was kind of the determining factor for me. So, welcome. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Cole. Appreciate it. At this time, I'd like to just invite forward for a facilities update with some things going on. Mr. Knoll, just to give you guys a little update from facilities.
Just real quick, wanted to catch everybody and catch everyone up with the walker, where that's at right now. Abatement is complete at that building. Sewer plant has been tore out. The bottom parking lot and playground are being hauled away. They were hauled away today. Everything's cleaned out of there. Building's about 80% down. So they've got most of it down. Right now there's a little bit of a holdup because of cutting the gas at the road, so they have to stop where they're at until that gets capped at the road. But gas has already been cut to the building. There's no danger with anything of that. Just got to stop at that point, and they're sorting through it and recycling things as they go. At the elementary school, Faircrest Elementary School, our chiller is finally in place. It's not hooked up yet, but once that gets done, then we'll have better control over the HVAC for that building, so that's going to make a difference. And also the PA system is being worked on this week, and hopefully by Friday we'll be operational there. The other big thing I wanted to talk about, just we've been in discussion with GPD Group as the architects to plan out the tennis courts over at the Y property. I know we met with the facility group and showed currently our thought is to have those tennis courts right there where the old pool used to be. It fits right on that spot really nice. It will not interrupt the walking track, and that would be able to stay there. And the park could continue to function as is, just with a tennis court in the middle of it. And work is going to be done to refurbish the old concession stand of the Y into a locker room for our both boys and girls tennis. Hoping to have that work done for next fall for the girls team to be able to open up that tennis court in the fall of 2023. So those are my big things right now. Any questions from the board of anything where we're at on any of our work? Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. As far as curriculum and programming, I think we just covered quite a bit of that. And also, Jason, I'm correct, nothing with finance and audit? Okay. So,
Brings us to
brings it right
superintendent.
back to me. All right, so a lot of exciting things, and it is hard to believe, but my gosh, we are at the end of the first 9 weeks. Guys, you're a fourth of the way through your senior year. That's how quick it goes. But just a few things. I want to start off by saying we had 2 outstanding days of professional development, Monday and Tuesday of this week. And when we set the calendar, we had built those in. Just like to thank our administrative team for all their work that they put in to prepare these sessions. I'd also like to thank our certified staff for all the work that they did to make these meaningful. They came in, they were very serious, they engaged, and one of the coolest things was hearing, I think it was Brian and Jamie talking to Tricia about already coming back Wednesday, Thursday, teachers trying new things. Very, very excited about that, very appreciative of everyone there. Also want to remind everyone, this is Bus Safety Week. So we are going to have sheriff deputies out following our buses. There's absolutely nothing wrong. They're just checking to make sure that they're safe and just take an opportunity to say thank you to our sheriff department in general for all the work they do to keep us safe from the time we pick kids up to the time we drop them off. Friday of this week, just a reminder, that is that waiver day we approved when we put this in. Students will not be here. All other staff members will be here. Our certified staff will be digging in, looking at data. A lot of those things we just talked about, we're blocking off time for them to work through, particularly at the older grades. At the elementary grades, they're going to continue having conferences and calling families and engaging with families and trying to get them in. Maybe parents that can't do things in the evening. Here's a morning session to be able to bring them in to work with them as well. And for our classified staff, they're also going to be coming in, and professional development is going to happen for our classified staff on this day as well. So very, very excited about Friday as an opportunity. Again, we have very, very high expectations for our staff, but we got to make sure we're reinforcing those. And our staff always rises, so we really appreciate them as well. On October 6th, we had our Hall of Distinction. I know many of you were able to be here that night, but just what a great night that was, that we got to honor Thomas Babick, Lee J. Bowman, Clyde Breckbuehler, Dr. Martha Cook, Howard Jolliffe, and Melvin Lindsay, and welcome them into the Hall of Distinction. That doesn't happen by accident. The great night, our committee, headed by Teresa Persis, Karen Breivik, who is ill and not able to be here, also does a ton of work. Ray Hexler, I know I'm leaving people out, but just so much work. Our custodial staff, for everything they do, just a great night. October 8th then, we had our fall homecoming. And I was not able to attend that this year. I had a thing for my family that night. But by all accounts, it was a great night. Had one of our biggest crowds ever, approximately 450 students in attendance here that night. So just really glad. Did you guys have a good time? I should have asked if you went first, but I'm assuming you did because statistically speaking, we're there. Coming up, our 4th and 5th grade music program will be held tomorrow night right here in the PAC. It will feature our entire 4th and 5th grade as well as our 5th grade band. Our literacy partners are currently in training with Mrs. Bartley, or not currently, they will be in training next week. And then the following week, we have volunteers coming in who have all been background checked, who are going to come in and support literacy in 1st grade and work with kids in small group and one-on-one to provide more tutoring there for them. Halloween parties are coming up both at Faircrest and the middle school. High school's gonna have a dress-up day as well, just trying to bring some fun back in as well and get kids back to normal. We need to make sure we're doing that. Very, very important Veterans Day assembly. Or not assembly, I apologize, but our Veterans Day event is going to be on November 10th. And it's going to be at 5 p.m. at Faircrest Memorial Elementary School this year. So just want to make sure we'll get communication out to everybody, but working on that because that's coming up before you know it. Our high school band concerts taking place on Wednesday night. Our marching band participated over the weekend at the University of Akron Band Day, great opportunity. I don't know if I want to invite you to this or not, but Powder Puff football is taking place on Thursday night. Again, I don't know if you want to come to that or not, but sometimes, but that's a fun night for our junior and senior girls. High school football team. We will be playing for a share of the Pac-7 title this Friday night at home against Northwest. If we can pull this off, it'll be the first high school football championship, I believe, since 1963. So just a great night to celebrate our kids. It's senior night, our band members, our cheerleaders, and our student section as well. The school musical's coming up as well, Once Upon a Mattress. That'll be taking place Saturday, November 5th. And as long as you approve it here Sunday, November 6th, we have that on the agenda. And then final thing here is our Mitch Rossell concert. If you remember, we were able to get Nashville singer and songwriter Mitch Rossell coming in here to the PAC on Friday, November 11th. Currently, we are sold over half our tickets, over 460 tickets sold so far. And want to say thank you to our sponsors. First of all, our platinum sponsors, I know he's out there, Mark Schaefer, Canton Township trustee. our South Star Career Academy, our Red Level sponsors of GPD Group, Stone Products, and Beaver Construction, and our Wildcat sponsors, again, Scott and Edie Hamilton Foundation, Dr. Dale and Patience Rush. We also have Gabe and Rachel Taylor, Victoria and Brian Hesse out there, and also Debbie and Jerry Davidson. So thank you so much. With that, we have over 120 some tickets to give away to our students who can come to this concert for free. So really excited about that opportunity and think it's going to be a great night, especially if you like country music like I do. So lots of exciting things going on. None of it possible without the work of our staff, support of our families, and our students have been awesome. So just appreciate everybody. I think that's all, but now I get to keep going, right?
Yes. Now
Okay.
we have the superintendent.
Okay, and guys, if you, I just want to make sure before I go through, and Candy sent this out to everyone earlier today, but just to make sure you see it in the packet, anything that was added on here, there's nothing really groundbreaking, there's just a couple changes are highlighted in yellow. Those of you that I know get packets in the community, I want to make sure I know that we sent these out today as well, just to make sure everybody has them. But we'll start first with resignations and retirement. Our Special Services Secretary, Kelly Walters, has put in for retirement. We really appreciate Kelly. And I know she has been a long-time employee of this district in multiple roles and served us in multiple ways. We'll definitely be honoring her at the end of the year. But just with gratefulness, I'd recommend that we accept her retirement. As you move to employment here, guys, there's a couple things that are highlighted in yellow, so I just want to be very clear when we see those. But we'd like to recommend Patricia Boone, Liberty as a 4-hour bus driver, Liberty Clark as an educational professional / bus aide, Kristen Nixon as a bus driver, Ellie Ayers, who is a student, as PAC Tech Support, Evan Keener, who's also a student as PAC Tech Support, and Xavier Williams, CBI. And again, the adjustment there is that was originally listed as minimum wage, but we have started paying our CBI workers $10 an hour. And again, if anybody questions or you wonder why there are the discrepancy in the $14 an hour and 10, it's because to work the PAC events, that's a skill you have to learn. That is a skilled trade that you have to do. And so just to make sure you have that information. If you're wondering about the bus drivers, as we all know, there's bus shortages everywhere. Any opportunity we have to hire bus drivers, we use them. There's never been a time where we've said we have too many, okay? So we just want to make sure you have that. And when you look at athletic coaches here as well, that's on there. That's Exhibit B1. Just a couple things to point out. Tyler Bowman, this is our fault. Tyler should have been on there earlier. We need to get him approved as a varsity football coach. Tyler is our elementary school counselor. So again, I feel very good about him working with kids, but he should have been on there earlier. Everyone else are our assistant coaches that you go down through there. Till you get to the event workers at the bottom, if you see Matt Dennison, Roxy Cole, Zoe Essex, those added on there, that was because we hosted the Pac-7 tournament over the weekend. We needed kids to work or people to work and do that for middle school volleyball. And also, you were wondering, why are we paying that? Because when you add these extra events, there are stipends that come with hosting them, and we just need to be able to do that if they come through those events here with everything, just so you see that. The other things there, guys, are some volunteer swim coaches. Again, we have a student that's participating in swim. The volunteer gymnastics, we have a student that wants to do that as well. But I just wanted to be very clear that we saw those, and obviously it's my recommendation that we would hire all of those. Letter C, reimbursement for transportation. This would allow us to go for transportation for a student who lives in the district but attends schools outside. It's our recommendation that we go ahead, if you look at C1, the exhibit that's in there, you can see that as we go. I just want to make sure we get to it. So you have it there. These are to make sure that we can pay students or families that if they are transporting themselves somewhere else, we offer that payment in lieu of. I want to make sure that we approve that. That's something that's required by law. And it's my recommendation that we do pay those students there. Or not those students, but those families. Item D, gifts and donations. We'd like to say thank you to the class of 1972, Patricia Ann Parks, for donating $1,250 to a scholarship fund. Obviously, with gratitude, we recommend that we accept that. Shared service agreement, item E. This is something we had talked about, but this is for Dr. Tim King. Dr. King is coming in to provide additional mental health support. He had been working with Sandy Valley, and so the cleanest way for us to do this is he is an independent contractor working through Sandy Valley. They are approving that. We are approving a shared service agreement that's in here with them that will be splitting his cost with Sandy Valley and with Louisville. They are also utilizing him as well. And just so you know how this is set up, general rate for services with him is $150 an hour. We are contracting for a maximum of 288 hours at a rate of $95 an hour. And then we are sharing some of the benefits that come with that with Louisville and Sandy Valley. But it's my recommendation that we approve that agreement. Overnight student trips, you'll see Mr. Philo submitted a request for the 8th grade students to travel to Washington, D.C. This is something that we do every year outside of a pandemic. A great experience for our kids. There will be 2 student days missed, no cost to the Board of Education. And then the second one there is the trip that I had sent out some information on, and that is our student trip to New Orleans for our juniors and seniors. I have run this trip, I think I counted up, I believe this will be my 9th time running a student trip like this. Great opportunity, the data's in there as well. And again, this will be of no cost to the district, and it will also be no student days missed as it's June 5th through the 11th. And obviously, since I'm asking for it, I'm recommending that we approve that one as well. Use of school facilities. So our boys and girls basketball programs are requesting that we can utilize the Red Ash Gym to host a youth tournament, both boys and girls together, over basically President's Day weekend. And I would recommend that we give them that opportunity to use the gym for that. And that brings us now to our Sunday use of school facilities. Again, just like we talked about, it's basically that tournament will run into Sunday, so I'd like to get the approval for them to do that. Stephanie Fassinger does an awesome job, director of our theater. She submitted a request for a Sunday performance of the play that's coming up here soon, which is Once Upon a Mattress. But then also in March, for the Canton South Middle School performance of Disney's Aladdin Jr. North Industry Christian Church would like to host a community Christmas event in the Performing Arts Center on Sunday, December 11th from 4 to 8 o'clock. Coach Stayer talked about it with Logan, but our middle school cross-country team would like the opportunity to compete at the state meet. That's one that if you see on the new one was highlighted in yellow. We put the wrong date of Friday the 21st when it should have been Sunday the 23rd on there. So that's one of those yellow changes as well. The next one, if you're wondering, I just want to make sure you have it. Our cheerleading coaches like to request permission for our cheerleaders to compete in competitions. Some of the things we don't always know is when they're going those to pop up. They get changed at the last minute. So we'd like to give them a kind of a blanket PO kind of here to, not really a purchase order, but to compete as they come up to 7 times. If they qualify for state, that will count for them. And that way we don't have to keep coming back over and over again on that. It's something that's been done in the past, but I felt like last year there were times I was coming to you after the fact, and I don't want to do that. So that's why it's on there listed that way. And then finally, our Canton South community churches, along with our township trustees, have requested permission to use Faircrest Elementary School parking lot for trunk or treat on Sunday, October 30th. And obviously, that is an outstanding thing for our kids, our whole community. Greatly appreciate it, and I fully recommend that we grant that as well. Board policies. This is our first reading, but as you go through the board policies, guys, you'll notice one of the things there, they're all revised. None of this is new. We meet with Neola, and I know you guys know this, but this is so that we stay up to date with the law. The only thing we even had the opportunity to make a decision on, really in this, was there was one that dealt with policy 5460.01, diploma deferral, and that deals with students that have special needs. They have the right to stay in school to age 22. Obviously, we want to let them walk at their graduation ceremony with the class they would have, but yet still return back to school to get those services. The decision we had to make was, are we going to make them age out? Let's say someone turns 22 today. Are they done with us right away? Can they stay for the rest of the 9 weeks? Can they stay for the rest of the semester? Can they stay for the rest of the year? We made the decision to stay for the rest of the 9 weeks to give families time, a little bit more time to transition. The reason why we didn't do the full year, just the potential of some of these would be out-of-district placements that can cost the district a considerable amount of money. We want to be responsible to taxpayers as well. Maybe not have somebody turn 22 today, then stay all the way through at a per diem cost that's a very high rate. So that's the only thing, and again, this is only the first reading of them today. If you have any questions or any concerns, please reach out to me, and we will absolutely get those discussed. But I recommend that we approve the first reading of those. My last one for me is the Career Technical Education Agreement contract extension. We are due for a new contract to go with Sandy Valley, East Canton, and Perry in our career tech. What we decided as superintendents was that we'd like to just extend the contract to the end of this year and work for a revision for next year. And so in conjunction with these other schools, I'd like to recommend that we roll the contract over. It changes nothing from how we've been doing it, and look to do a revision going into next year. And I believe that is all of mine.
Thank you.
I so move on items A through J.
I need to exclude Roxanne from
B.
B.
All right. All right, there's a motion for A through J with the exception of Roxanne in employment B. We'll vote on that separately. All right, is there a second?
Still need a second.
Is there
Second.
Second, okay. All right, any discussion? If not, call the roll, please.
Mr. Cole?
Aye.
Mr. Hamilton?
Aye.
Mr. Knight?
Aye.
Mrs. Davis?
Aye.
All right, I'd like to make a recommendation to hire Roxy Cole for the volleyball tournament.
Second?
Any discussion? No? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Cole?
Abstain.
Mr. Hamilton?
Aye.
Mr. Knight?
Aye.
Mrs. Davis?
Aye.
All right. Moving on, board concerns, legislative, I don't have anything tonight. Are there any questions pertaining to agenda items or board actions? If not, other business, the Business Advisory Council?
Yep, so that's put in there, and that's something that we participate with through the Stark County ESC, where they provide us updates and go from there. So we just want to make sure that everybody on the board has that.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, executive session?
Yes, I actually, oh, I'm sorry, I have a, oh, go ahead.
Other business.
Yep, absolutely, I'm sorry.
There's something I wanted,
I'm sorry.
that's okay, something I wanted to talk to you guys about. So, I don't know if you guys know this, probably do. This school year, Aaron and I decided to remove our youngest from Canton Local. The behavioral issues at the middle school have kind of taken a toll on her. I'm going to try not to be emotional and just kind of get through it. And it kind of turned her into a kid who was hating school. So for that reason, you know, the decision was made. Since I've moved her, I've seen her grades have increased. She's not being bullied, and she's a happy kid who enjoys school again. Why am I telling you guys this? Since this move, and Mr. Yegley can attest to this, I've kind of really been digging into what happens at that district versus here. I only have one metric that I can go on, and that's my own child. And the question that's always in my head is, how does a district with 800 kids, 7th and 8th grade kids jammed into one building, how do they control it? How do they not have the issues that we have here? The demographics are pretty well the same. I mean, it's not too far off, right? And the answer, I really believe, is positive behavioral intervention and support programs, PBIS, right? They do it well, very well. Canton Local is behind on this. I know that we are struggling to implement this and get it into place, and I think it is vitally important. I think we, as a district, failed our students by not implementing something like this years ago. I think that Perry probably had their hands forced into it a little more due to the issues that they had there. They clearly had, you know, a crisis a few years back. I think it is important that as a Board of Education, vitally important, that we not continue to do things, not continue to have the attitude of, we've done this way for a long time. that we make that commitment to this community, that we're gonna do things better, and we're gonna support these these schools so they can do PBIS and do the things they need to do and do it well. Because it is truly an amazing difference to see a kid who I had struggled with getting assignments done, wanting to be at school in general, come to me and say, Dad, I want to get my gold card this year. Well, what's your gold card? I have to make sure all my assignments are turned in, nothing can be late. I have to, I have to be at school, obviously, right? The things that we struggle with here, and this kid now all of a sudden wants to be part of that, okay? We can do that here. We have to make the commitment that we are going to hold, as a Board of Education, people accountable to make sure it happens. And the community needs to know it. They need to know that we are committed to that. That we're not going to be afraid to sit here and go, if we make a mistake, great, fine, admit it, move on, and continue. But that's what we got to do. Okay?
Good, thank you, Mr. Cole.
Yeah.
All right. Executive session?
Yeah, we do have a request to go to executive session, for the discussion of sale of, there's a few reasons why we're going in. So for a discussion on the sale of public property, for a discussion on a matter that's required to be, kept confidential per federal law, and for, the discussion of the employment of a public official. I don't believe there'll be any action to be taken after that, though, with everything.
All right, so I so move that we move into executive session.